Hello YouTube, welcome back. It's me and InuPete again with some YgoPro. This is the second part of the plays for the 4th of the 1st, 2013. April Fools to everybody. I'm not going to do an April Fools on YouTube at all. This is actually me and Pete playing and it's all this stuff, and we are actually talking genuine anime stuff. It's not an April Fool's joke. There was a Dragon Ball Z movie. You can look it up. Dragon Ball Z movie 2013. You'll see it was released on the 29th of March.
No, it was released on the 31st.
Was it the 29th, 30th? Yeah, 30. No, it wasn't 31st. It was the 30th. It was released.
No,
Saturday. Because it wasn't released yesterday. It was released the day before. Because I was reading about it yesterday.
Oh wait, sorry, yes.
So yeah,
sorry,
it is legit.
Yeah, sorry, yes.
It is legit. It has been released. You can look it up. It looks really
no, sorry,
cool.
So on the 31st, sorry, people were saying it was released yesterday. Sorry, I was getting confused.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it is legitimate. You can look it up. You can read it up on it. It is completely legit. We aren't doing an April Fool's. We are talking genuine manga and stuff like that while we're watching me and InuPete actually dueling. So yeah, here we go. Next lot of duels. Normals versus Junk at number 6. Now, for me, when it came to Bleach, I got to about the part where Rukia and Ichigo saves Rukia. Basically, that's where I thought Bleach should have ended. I didn't really like anything beyond that. It just felt like they was dragging it out. Do you know what I mean? They were just making it go on further. He'd done everything he needed to do. He'd lost his powers, which was basically what it looked like he was doing. He was sacrificing his powers to save the Shinigami world, and that seemed like a good fitting end to me. But they continued it on, and I just didn't like where they were taking the direction for Bleach. I don't know what you think, Pete, but that was my own personal opinions of that.
Well, I don't know. With Bleach, God, ages ago, I kind of like lost interest. I can't remember what it was that made me lose interest, and then I kind of thought to myself, let me sort of have a look again, see what I think of it, and I don't know. I just kind of got back into it. I don't know what it was, and I watched like so much Bleach in like, I can't remember, it was like a couple of weeks or so. I just watched so much Bleach. I think I had a week off of work at some point, like during a holiday. Obviously this is going back when I was fucking in Stanley, and I think I just sat down and just watched like for a whole week of just Bleach, just non-stop.
Yeah, well, I actually started reading Bleach again, and I got to the point where, oh fuck, what does he do? I think he was doing his second Bankai, I think, where he goes in to fight is it Zangetsu, isn't it? I think he goes in. Yeah, he goes in to fight his sword for the second time and finds out. Spoiler, peoples. You've probably already seen this, but this is the last I heard. I think he goes in to fight himself in white form. I think that's how it was.
Yeah, that's Zangetsu as well.
Yeah, I know it's Zangetsu.
Yeah,
that's the last I saw. Is it when I think he wins over Zangetsu inside himself, and it was before you showed me one of those things where you was cosplaying, where you had those horns and you had the second half mask and all that stuff on.
Oh, that's when
you had the painted arms. But I haven't seen that. I didn't really care too much, to be perfectly honest. It never really interested me beyond that point. And everything I read up to the point where he gets the second Bankai, the second Zangetsu, I was just like, I'm really not interested. Why am I reading? Why am I continuing to read this? You know, it just made it really I didn't care about it. And that's where I always loved about Dragon Ball Z. Is I always cared about the characters, no matter what they were doing, no matter how much fucking like. Back in the day, Cartoon Network would have like a year gap between the Frieza saga and the Trunks saga, and you go, you what? Then they put on the 4-episode Trunks saga and then go on a 5-month hiatus and continue to. We went through it, you know what I mean? We were there when they actually did it, you know what I mean? It was
when they first
horrible.
did the Trunks saga, I was up at Scott's when he lived in that flat.
Yeah.
Above the bakery where it was. That was the very first time we saw it. I think you were there, because I remember.
No, I watched it at home. I had it recording at home on tape.
I remember I was like me. I think even Dave watched it. We just wanted to see Trunks. We knew obviously we watched. We'd gone online. Yeah. And you see Trunks, you know, come along, kill King Cold, kill Frieza, then hear about the android. Oh, sweet android dog, and then bang, went back to the very beginning.
It literally 4 episodes, and it restarted all over again with all the 5-month hiatus.
They didn't do the android saga for about another 2 years. I'm not lying, mate. I remember it was another 2 years.
If it was a 2-year gap between the Frieza saga and the Trunks saga, then it was a 5-month gap between the Trunks saga and the Android saga.
No, it wasn't, guys. It was longer than that. That's what I'm saying. They went back to the beginning, got up to the Trunks saga, went back to the Frieza saga, played the Frieza saga, then went back all the way again to the start of the Saiyan saga, did the Saiyan saga up to the Trunks saga, then went back again somewhere, then went back to the start, then played, and then they finally were like, oh yeah, now we're going to do it. But it took them 2 years. I remember it took them 2 years. It took 2 years.
The other thing I do remember is when it got to about halfway through, I think it was just before what was the second? Is it Imperfect Cell? Was the second form? When it Cell's second form was Imperfect, wasn't it?
Cell, Imperfect Cell, Perfect Cell.
Then Perfect Cell. When it got to the Imperfect Cell saga in America, I stopped watching it completely, and I was watching all my anime online, and I was watching all the Japanese episodes of Dragon Ball Z, because me and you were trying to get all the episodes in Japanese, because we much preferred the anime in Japanese, and yeah, that's basically where I ended up. So I ended up watching, and then once I'd done that, and I actually watched it, like especially the Gohan Level 2 part, I tell you mate, that was it for me. When I watched the Gohan Level 2 part in the American, compared it to the Japanese, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is shit. You know what I mean? The whole atmosphere was different when in the Japanese version, and it just felt wrong. You know what I mean? I don't know if you agree with that, Pete, but it just didn't feel right. The emotion wasn't there. The fit wasn't there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It didn't feel right to me. After watching it in Japanese and then watching it in American, it didn't feel the same. You know, the music felt better. The atmosphere of the fights were better. You know, Cell, like he sounded and looked like a fucking badass in Japanese, but in American he sounded like a knob. You know what I mean? I might just be looking at it wrong. It may have just come across incorrectly for me, but that's the way it felt, if you know what I mean. And I'll get it out in a second. You know, I keep raging at the voice actresses and actors in the American, but they're not used to the Japanese style. You know, the way that they portrayed their characters. Maybe the Japanese probably feel in a different way. That they probably watch so much anime with the same people with the same voices all the time, that they may feel that they're not as into their characters. But the way that I see them, which is very rarely, you know, most of the Dragon Ball Z actors I didn't even know were still in circulation. I thought a lot of them would have been retired by now. But as Pete mentioned the other day, a lot of them are still in rotation in Japan. So yeah,
they are. Their voice actors are still in rotation. They're obviously, well, I mean, anime is a big thing, so they're in high demand. They're always, I mean, you'll listen out and you think, hang on, that sounds like so and so. And you look at, I mean, sometimes I've gone, oh, that sounds like so and so. I've looked, I mean, it's not, it's a different voice actor. I was like, okay, it's very similar to. But I heard someone, and I was just like that. I was so certain it was Sesshomaru from Inuyasha. He had the same, the way he spoke. It was Sesshomaru, and I was like, that's got to be Sesshomaru. Looked it up, and it wasn't, and it was like, okay. Like, I even then played an episode of Inuyasha. I can't remember what I was watching. Then played that, and the voice, it was literally parallel. It was the same voice, but it wasn't the same actor. So I can get mixed up with the voice actors, you know.
Yeah, it's true, and hopefully what they're saying about the new Dragon Ball series that's meant to be coming along with the film, hopefully that's true, because at the end of the day, that's going to be the next thing that's going to get me back into anime and watching anime properly is going to be Dragon Ball Z again. So, to be honest with you, I do a lot more reading than I do watching. I watched Kai the other day, Dragon Ball Kai, and it's awesome. It is really good. It's still the same old Dragon Ball Z. you can never change that. But gotta love it. It's Dragon Ball Z all over. You know what I mean? So I'm well looking forward. If they do make it, I'm well looking forward to it. You know what I mean? So, but again, say for instance One Piece, Pete. I don't actually remember how far I got into One Piece. I didn't get that far. I think he ends up being Oh, do you know what? I can't even remember now.
Talk about
What did he
Luffy,
do?
yeah?
Yeah, I can't remember what Luffy did. He beat. He wasn't the shark teeth guy.
Right. Arlong.
What did I get up to in the manga? Do you know what? I can't even remember. But it was quite near the beginning, you know what I mean? It wasn't that far into it, like especially as it is now. Obviously, it was up to date at the time, but nowadays it was barely anything, you know what I mean? So.
Oh, well, do you need the end of the duel, or?
Well, possibly.
I'll say because we're just over 10 minutes, like literally coming up to 11.
That's cool. That's cool. We'll finish this duel and then we'll finish this and we'll carry on with the next one. I'll try and remember where I was in the manga, but in the anime, literally, I must have watched about 30 episodes of One Piece and just stopped. It really did not interest me at all. I thought it was really poor. Even the Japanese just could not do it. I couldn't do it at all. And so yeah. Dark Hole's coming up soon. But yeah, if you can leave it in the old channel below and let me know what you guys think about the old Dragon Ball movie. If you've even seen anything about it and what you think about the new Dragon Ball series and things like that. I'd like to hear other people's opinions because obviously I'm well psyched for it. You know, I'd love to see Dragon Ball back on telly again, or even able to watch it as a download, like on YouTube. What am I talking about? Online and things like that. Again, it's another series that I probably would, with the very limited amount of funds I actually have, I'll actually pay for. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm well up for that, definitely. I don't know about yourself, Pete. I know you're a huge fan. You must, as yourself, posted a video to all the Dragon Ball Z figures you've got online. Can you imagine the new characters coming through and any new figures that they're going to be coming through in the next, couple of years if they release a new series?
There's figures out now that I still want. And if I got the money, I would get them.
Of course, as always. Okay, and that ends the conversation there. We will continue on with SD versus Zombie, because I actually hit the V instead of the Z. I don't know how I've done that, but never mind. We'll see you guys soon.